After Craft Road exit, traffic's currently backed up on the R21 highway. Then moving to the Western Cape, in Cape Town, traffic slow moving. That's on the N2 inbound between Airport Approach Road and Hospital Bend. And in Milnerton, traffic slow moving. That's on Plattekloof Road westbound, heading towards the N7 highway. That's where I leave your traffic, but let's take a look at what to expect in your temperatures. Let's take a look at that. Polokwane is starting off on a low of 14, reaching a high of 28. Mbombela 18, 29. Thunder showers expected in Pretoria 16 with a high of 28. If you're in Johannesburg, 15 is your minimum, 25 your maximum. Mahikeng 17, reaching a high of 30. If you're in Klerksdorp today, 15 is your minimum, 28 your maximum. Kimberley 16 with a high of 32. Bloemfontein 13, 29. Richards Bay 23 with a high of 30. Pietermaritzburg 17, reaching a high of 30. Partly cloudy conditions in Durban today. 22 with a high of 28. Mthatha starting off on 17, reaching a high of 28. East London, some sunny conditions expected, a low of 18, a high of 26. Cradock 14 with a high of 33. Sunny conditions in Port Elizabeth, 16 is your minimum, 22 your maximum. George 12 with a high of 21. Sunny conditions in Sutherland with a low of 7, a high of 26. Cape Town today, partly cloudy with a low of 15, a high of 21. Worcester 10 with a high of 29. Springbok sunny with a low of 7, a high of 28. And Uppington a low of 17, reaching a high of 36 degrees Celsius with some sunny conditions forecasted. Well, if you please remember to use water sparingly, especially in the Western Cape due to our water restrictions. But I'll have another weather and traffic update for you in an hour.
The Expresso traffic report gets you on the right route. There's 10,000 Rand to be won daily. Want to be a winner? Spend 300 Rand or more on fuel at Caltex, keep your receipt, and enter the hashtag Fuel Your Wallet competition by SMSing Caltex Expresso and your name to 43366.
A quick little check-in on these Twitter streets and hashtag TIOT8 trended at #1 yesterday during the episode and even further on, even in the early hours of this morning as we start the new day. Luke Charles saying here at My Tropica, we all need a hype man like Rudy Witkowski in our lives. His encouragement to name maps proved very effective. If you were watching yesterday, you know exactly what he was talking about. When it looked like name maps was out of the competition, he kept them up and made sure that they came out tops in that particular elimination challenge. And Zakela saying, watching hashtag TIOT8, yesterday. Amanda saying hashtag TIOT8. I love the way Rudy kept Nay up. Great teamwork. Absolutely was so happy for Team Yellow made it. But of course, yesterday with the elimination of the day, Team Coral, Melinda Bam and Kelly Gunnell were eliminated. And a last little message here from Melinda saying, just wasn't ours to win. We did all we could, played hard, gave every challenge our all, and unfortunately a little left of luck. But I'm not one to believe in luck, which is probably why luck didn't like me back. Such a great way and a graceful lady taking the result of yesterday. But the action, of course, continues again next week, Monday, 7:30 on SABC3, hashtag TIOT8.
Oh, so exciting, hey? I absolutely cannot wait
for
a Monday
last
night.
Yeah. Wow.
Thrilling stuff, gripping stuff. Well, still to come after the break, we talk about trending tech news, so stay tuned for that.
And then we thought we'd just make him stand here uncomfortably for a little bit longer. Louis Cole is in the house. Hey. Welcome to SA, my brother. Thank you. YouTuber, vlogger. He's going to give us a little taste of what he does, make magic online, and hopefully we'll pick up some tips as well. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Awesome to have you here.
Get a taste of the smooth island life and win big with Tropica Island of Treasure Maldives. Buy a Tropica, follow the entry details on the pack, and you could win daily airtime prizes, Daniel Klein watches, American Tourista luggage for your next adventure, vouchers from loot.co.za to shop the hot daily deals online, and the grand prize of a Kia Picanto. For competition T's and C's, visit tropica.co.za. And don't forget to watch Tropica Island of Treasure Maldives every Monday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC3.
Ooh, you know what that slightly freaky music means. Welcome back to Expresso. Time for a little tech daily update. I'm going to clear my throat because this is quite a crazy one. We've got some amazing news to report on.
Very interesting. Well, we know property is probably one of the most expensive investments out there, but thanks to robot technology, construction costs might drop drastically in the future, and even more so, the time taken to complete construction. Now, a new type of home that can be 3D printed by a special machine is able to build a home in less than 24 hours. Now, tech startup company Icon has developed a machine called the Falcon, and this pours concrete into a software-determined pattern, one layer at a time, removing the need for bricks and allowing the designer to shape the home according to the client's needs. Now, together with an NGO called New Story, they plan to implement this technology in developing countries and provide high-quality, affordable homes to local communities.
And I love the fact that you can also make them greener right from the beginning, but that is awesome. Awesome.
Pretty
What
cool,
technology is doing for the third world is crazy. So now let's take you off-world for this one. We know, like it or not, Putin is going to be president of Russia for another term up until 2024. He is the man. Now, when we look at space exploration, SpaceX has taken all of the headlines lately. Well, Putin has said in a television interview that they plan to send unmanned and later manned launches into deep space as part of a lunar program and for Mars exploration. Closest mission is very soon. We are planning to launch a mission to Mars in 2019, guys. That's next year. So we know SpaceX is looking at it in 2024, which is still around the corner, and NASA, along with them, that'll be a joint international objective. But Russia are going to do it on their own next year, guys. Oh my word.
I wouldn't volunteer. I'm sorry, I'm quite happy with Earth.
Oh man, that is crazy. So that's what's going down in the world of tech. Mind blown.
So if you were asked, what is your dream job? I think most people would answer traveling the globe and experiencing all the beauty and culture that the world has to offer, and yes, be paid for it. Well, Louis Cole is a man who's managed to do exactly that. Hailing from the UK, he's one of the world's most popular vloggers, and more than 2 million people subscribe to his YouTube channel, Fun for Louis, and follow him as he inspires through traveling the world and documenting his adventures. Let's take a quick look at that.
Welcome to my channel. We are cruising at 11,000 feet, and me and my friend JP are flying this tiny plane around the entire world. We've been staying with locals, learning about different cultures, and the aim for me is to share the diverse and beautiful world that we live in. So if you want to join us on the biggest adventure of our lives, make sure you hit subscribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fun for Louis! Give him a round of applause. Louis Cole is in the studio. Exciting to have you here. I just asked you now while we were watching that, can you believe this is your life?
Yeah, it is kind of mad sometimes. Those clips were just from the one trip I did last year, but yeah, it's kind of unreal, and I feel privileged to be able to live this life. It's cool, yeah.
Am I right in saying that you were one of the first YouTubers to kind of make it mainstream and turn what we know as this phenomenon of YouTubers into a reality back in the day, right?
Yeah, so I think like 2012 was like a year where there was this big kind of sudden, I guess the world found out about YouTube, and I was lucky enough to be on that train as it was leaving the station. So.
But what was life like before Fun for Louis? What was life like for Louis? Was it still fun?
Obviously, yeah. I just now get to share it with a bigger audience and get to have adventures and have this global platform, which is really exciting.
But what were you doing before then?
Oh, I mean, I was doing lots of things. I was still travelling a lot and trying to look at ways to live alternative to the 9-to-5 kind of thing. So I think I was always kind of pushing the boundaries.
And then when you did get started, take me through that. I mean, there's lots of youngsters out there that dream of the stuff that you're doing, not just in the travel sense, but being able to generate content that is authentic and true to them and put it out to a global audience who might be like, yes, I want to be one of those 2 million people that subscribe to the channel. So how did you get started?
It was, I mean, it's quite a long story of how I got into YouTube. It started, I was making some kind of extreme eating videos of me eating weird things, and then that kind of brought a lot of attention. But that was for me, suddenly I found out about this world where there's loads of different YouTube channels making like comedy sketches, music videos, all different kinds of content. And that's when I thought, oh, I could do anything really, as long as it'd be something people would be interested in. So yeah, then I met a few friends that were doing different things, started just filming my life every day, whether it was traveling or going to cool events and things, and that's how it kind of all got started. So.
And what about growing that audience? Was it a specific moment that kind of broke it for you and you all of a sudden went from like 1,000 to 100,000, or did it gradually grow, you know, kind of gathering momentum through time?
Yeah, I think it's been a gradual thing. I think it helped a lot the time when I got into YouTube. It was, like I said, when there was this like sudden awareness about YouTube and loads of people were trying to find content, and there was nowhere near as many channels and videos happening back then. But I still think it's an exciting platform and way to kind of live your dream and make whatever you want to and show it to the world.
We're watching scenes from your recent trip where you traveled to 22 countries in a single-engine Cessna, right over there with one of your very good mates who's a pilot. What was that adventure like, and what lies in the future for you?
So this was like a 3-month trip that we've been planning for years. My friend JP is a pilot, and we managed to circumnavigate the world, which only a few hundred people have ever done, so I thought that was pretty exciting. And also make a documentary from it, which I'm currently still in the editing process of, so that was really cool. And I think that's kind of fulfilled my need for like the big grand adventures for the moment. I'm sure I'll be doing lots in the future, but it's nice to kind of just settle for a little bit. So I've been here in Cape Town for like 2 months now, stay
a little bit longer,
having some
man.
local adventures.
Stay a little bit longer, have some more local adventures, film them, put them on your YouTube channel, and of course, if you want to follow you, it's all at Fun for Louis. Excellent stuff, man. Thank you so much for joining us, and
It's
thank you
great
for
to be
sharing
here.
your adventure with us. Ladies and gentlemen, Louis Cole on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Amazing, amazing.
Right, let's talk a bit of gaming on your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning. Gareth Wood's back with us on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, all the way from Germany, where he recently travelled to attend the much-anticipated launch of something quite interesting as part of the Nintendo Switch. Gareth, thank you very much for joining us, my brother.
Good to be back.
Yeah, so listen, Germany was good?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was cold. really cold.
Listen, but you were there for something quite unique. We've been talking about the Nintendo Switch for quite a while in the Feel Good Breakfast Show, and it's a console that I think is fast becoming a firm favourite amongst many households as well.
In fact, it won Gadget of the Year a couple of weeks ago.
But now there's something new, man. They're taking it to a different level completely.
Yeah. So Nintendo Labo, it's a lot of people kind of find it difficult to explain, and I think that's why they sent me there to try and do a better job. And even now I'm kind of stumbling on my words. It's essentially you take all the power that's in the Switch kind of controllers, you add a bit of creativity in some of these kind of pre-cut out cardboard sort of monstrosities and things you can build and inventions. And with that and the tech and a little bit of magic, you create the most crazy different kind of toys to play with. So we had remote control cars, we had little houses, we had fishing games, all sorts of stuff that kind of brings the analog system of being able to touch and build something with the kind of digital magic that's in the Switch controllers, and all comes to life in Nintendo Labo. It was crazy. I know we've got some clips to show, kind of to hopefully explain a little bit better than I can. But
it sounds far-fetched, but you mentioned cardboard, which makes it like, okay, now it's a bit more simpler, I guess. But how does it work? How does the Nintendo Switch kind of console kind of integrate itself with these cardboard kind of things that you build and literally make them come to life?
So obviously there's software that comes part of when you buy either the Toy-Con or the robot pack, and that obviously is the software in the game that you play. But essentially what it does is it uses the controller, which has an infrared camera. It's got it vibrates. It's got obviously an accelerometer and all this kind of like fancy stuff. So it knows a lot about what's going on in its surroundings. So when we use the RC car, for example, build these little cars, a decorated mine, and we have the little controllers on there. And then with the software that you're playing on the Switch, it vibrates at a certain frequency, so you can move it around. And then obviously you can vibrate the one faster than the other, and so it turns, and you can. I think we had a little bit of an RC battle with like some of the other cars. So we have a little kind of gladiator moment, sumo sort of wrestling. There was a bit of parkour, so you could move it around this like sort of obstacle course. That was the one game. You had this fishing rod game, for example. So with the cardboard, you build the fishing rod, but then you use the switch controllers for it to, as you're turning it, it's spinning. So it knows like from how fast you're spinning, the accelerometer is moving. It knows how fast you're kind of jerking the handle up. So it's using all these sort of like gyros and ways of like assessing where it is in the world. It's kind of like the feedback that you're giving it, it then puts back into the software, and so it's giving you feedback. So it's this great mix between analog and digital, and also just the fun of building half these toys. So you're sitting there,
yeah.
I mean, the one they built at piano, it takes like 2 hours to build, but afterwards you're sitting there pushing the keys and using the kind of infrared camera inside the piano. It's assessing like how hard you're hitting it, the kind of the speed and all that, and what tone to kind of play.
What does this mean, though, for the world of conventional gaming as we know it on screens? That's where we're most accustomed to playing these games. But where is this heading, dude? If we take a look at the future.
Yeah, what I'm most excited about is the kind of creativity, which I know we're going to talk a little bit in tomorrow's show, but like what you can do with the toys. Obviously, it prescribes a whole bunch of things. So there was the robot pack, there was the fishing rod, there was a motorbike, which also was amazing. You're sitting there and you're accelerating and you're jamming on the brakes, and right there in front of you is the course that you've just created you can ride on. So all these like prescribed things. So there's certainly a lot of content available for you to, first of all, build, customize, decorate, do your thing, and then actually play the game inside. But then, obviously, like one of the most exciting parts, and I'm really excited to see what the real creatives and engineers do with this sort of stuff, is the tech that it actually provides people in the box to be able to kind of do your own thing with.
That is amazing, Gareth. So it comes in obviously in some starter packs, and you can choose which starter pack or pack you want and what's in there or what.
So you get the Toy Con pack, which is if I remember correctly, it's the house, it's the bike, the fishing rod, and the RC car, and then and the piano, and then if the robot pack is obviously the big mech, and that's like the big bad boy. That takes like 3.5, maybe 4 hours to build. You sit there with the backpack on, sitting there, and as you move, the robot moves. As you put your arms forward, it flies. It's super, super responsive.
Crazy.
Put the visor down, go into first-person mode.
Well, I can clearly see that you are very, very excited.
I felt like a kid again. It was amazing.
Dude, I can't also wait to actually see this tech in action on your Feel Good Breakfast show. So hopefully you can bring it for us
definitely.
someday, man.
It's launching in April. I'm sure we'll get a
there
copy.
We go. But definitely very, very exciting in terms of the direction where games are heading. Gareth will be back with us again to talk more about the Nintendo Switch Labo and what you can expect going forward.
Mind-blowing stuff, so you make sure you tune in for tomorrow's segment with Gareth Woods to find a little bit more about that. So we're going to take the quickest of breaks. When we return, we're going to put your taste buds to the test, or at least mine. Am I a super taster? I hope so, but we will find out. Then we're also going to celebrate with South Africa's National Library reaching a massive milestone. We'll see you in a sec.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Now, if you consider yourself a picky eater or tend to reach for the salt shaker more than anyone else at the table, then there might be more to your urge than just a bad habit. Now, you may be what is called a super taster, and there's actually a fascinating science behind this phenomenon. Here to tell us more about it is Nicole Jennings from Pharma Dynamics. Nicole, so good to have you on the show this morning. Looking gorgeous in green, darling.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so let's talk about this concept of a super taster. I've never heard it before in my life, or is it just a picky eater? What's the difference?
So it's not just a picky eater. Being a super taster is actually genetic.
Yeah.
About 1 in 3 people are super tasters, and what this means is that you have the bitter taste receptor gene.
Yeah.
And you pick up on subtle bitter flavors in foods that other people just can't pick up on.
Oh, wow. I thought that was just being a fussy eater. What about parents who honestly believe that their kids are fussy eaters? What does kind of differentiates them between a fussy eater or someone that's a super taster?
Okay, it's quite difficult to determine without doing a proper test because it can go one of two ways. Some super tasters find taste overwhelming, and so they sort of tend to go for a more bland diet, whereas other people actually seek out that heightened sense of taste that they experience as super tasters. So the best way to determine whether your child is a super taster is to actually do the test. And to do this, you just get a PTC strip from your local pharmacy. So that's phenylthiocarbamide, which is a sulfate that can only be detected by a super taster.
Now, this is so interesting to me because two people can eat the exact same plate of food, and one says, it's so salty, and another one keeps putting more salt on, it's so bland. What is the kind of the link between someone that's a super taster and someone who uses increased levels of salt in their food?
Okay, this was so interesting when they started doing the research. They thought that a super taster would probably not oversalt because, you know, they can pick up on the flavors. But they then found that the salt actually cancels out the bitter undertone for super tasters. So they are the ones that tend to go for the discretionary salt and sort of oversalt their food, again, to heighten the flavors that they seek. In their
That's quite
food.
interesting. Talking about salt, how much salt does the average South African use in their diet, and what is a healthy level of salt usage?
We as South Africans are very guilty of overusing
Are we
salt.
naughty?
We're very naughty.
Are we naughty? All right, let's look at that.
So currently, you know, the average adult uses around 40 grams of salt a day. That's 8 times the World Health Organization's recommended 5 grams of salt a day. So a good way to measure 5 grams is about 1 teaspoon of salt. And also, you know, keep in mind that you don't physically have to eat that in its salt form. There's salt in cheese, there's salt in chicken, for instance, that's injected with brine water. You know, there's salt in so many different types of food. So don't aim for your 5 grams of salt. Aim for no salt, because you are likely still consuming your 5 grams of salt.
I blame it on the slub chips, y'all. Like, there's nothing like bland slub chips. You need to have a lot of salt on that. In terms of training your taste buds to become more normal, how can one do that, especially if you love lots and lots of salt? I mean, this is where we're standing. How does one get yourself from here to here?
Yeah. Okay, so, you know, it only takes around 11 days to break any habit. So what I would recommend is take the salt shaker off the table. Take away the temptation and replace it with some fresh herbs that actually, in many cases, have their own health benefits linked to them. Chopped garlic or chili, for example, or some nice fresh lemon juice, chopped up basil and oregano. All of those things are wonderful flavors. It actually ends up being so much more fulfilling than just adding salt to your food. And by doing that, you start to train your taste buds not to look for that sharp flavor, but to enjoy the, you know, the subtle nuances of different flavors in food.
There we go. She said it takes 11 days to break a habit. Thank you so much, Nicole. Well, Nicole's not going anywhere because stay with us. We're going to be testing to see if we are super tasters and show us how we can test or how you can test yourself at home as well. So don't move a muscle. We'll be breaking that salt habit very soon.
Pharma Dynamics. Effective, affordable healthcare.
So while I warm up my taste buds, let's feed our hunger for knowledge. The National Library of South Africa is hosting what sounds like an awesome exhibition called Treasure House of Knowledge, where members of the public are going to be able to look at very historically significant books, some dating back to the 10th century. Amazing, an opportunity to literally go back in time. And it gives us another reason to visit our national libraries as part of their bicentennial celebrations.
The National Library of South Africa is the custodian of our nation's documented heritage and serves to promote literacy as well as universal access to information. This year, it celebrates its 200th anniversary, making the National Library the oldest public institution in the country.
We want to invite all South Africans to really begin to think about the role of libraries in their lives. I know that the libraries are not part of the DNA of many South Africans. Because as you know, in our history, very, very painful history, some people were not allowed to actually go into any form of library, borrow books, or even be part of the reading public. Today, 200 years later, some people like myself, who had never been inside of a library until I went to university, are sitting at the helm of the development of libraries in this country. We work with the Department of Arts and Culture to ensure that every South African has access to libraries, has access to information, has access to knowledge through all the libraries that we have.
Libraries are at the heart of communities. They are gathering places that offer internet access, language programs, and more for all ages to enjoy.
We now, as a country, boast over 2,000 libraries in this country. Libraries that serve different communities. Libraries such as academic libraries, community libraries, public libraries, special libraries, medical libraries, you name it. I know that 2,000 is not enough for a country such as ours, where every one of our members of the community needs to have access. And I'm not talking about just physical access, but you can also use our services remotely.
Across South Africa, libraries are providing skills development for youth and provide support for education to unite and motivate members of society.
Our libraries are safe spaces. Our libraries are also social spaces. We want everyone in this country to feel free to use not only the spaces in their physical form, but also the materials in our collections, remotely or otherwise. We want all Africans to really take charge of their lives in terms of education, in terms of the economy, in terms of the politics, in every aspect of their lives, and decide the kind of Africa that they want. We are supporting that through many partners on the African continent, many library associations, including AFLIA. At the international level, we work with the International Federation of Library Associations, IFLA, to realize the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And we are so proud as South Africans to be reaching out to communities, but we are also having outreach programs where we're working with unemployed youth. We just graduated over 200 ICT cadets to work in these libraries where we just put all kinds of ICT equipment for them to be able to use and access internet. We also have recruited our very own graduates in the library schools. These are young people who have graduated from universities, from the library schools, but have never had a professional job. We are also supporting them in order for them to become the professionals, the future that we want to see in the profession. So I want to call all South Africans to begin to support their community libraries, to begin to support their school libraries, support all the libraries for the future of South Africa to be brighter.
From the majestic campuses of the National Library in Cape Town and Pretoria, all the way to the small community libraries in rural areas, these institutions can open up new worlds, lead to wonderful discoveries, and help all of us to learn, grow, and be better South Africans.
Now, this morning we're chatting about being a super taster, something that I heard for the first time today. Now, super tasters have more taste buds on their tongue and taste food way more intensely than the average Joe. Now, this often leaves super tasters as being called fussy eaters or reaching for more salt to mask the bitter taste of their food. Now, we've got Nicole Jennings from Pharmadynamics back, who's going to be giving us a test to see if we're super tasters or not. We've also got Louis Cole, international YouTuber and travel vlogger, and then Graham.
And just Graham.
Yeah.
And just me, man. Man, I hope I'm a super taster so I can redeem my general... I don't know how I should feel about this, whether it's... should I be emotionally invested in being a super taster or not? Nicole, what's the deal, man?
Look, if you're not a super taster, at least you're not likely to overuse your salt. So don't feel too bad if you're not a super taster.
I do eat a lot of salt. It's making me even more nervous, man.
He really does. But how do we test if we're super tasters or not?
Okay, so what we've got here is a strip coated in a sulfate called phenylthiocarbamide. Now, this sulfate can only be detected by people that actually have the super taster gene. So shall we do the test and see if we're super tasters?
Okay, so what am I going to, if I'm a super taster, what will I be experiencing once I put this on my tongue?
So if you're a super taster, you should immediately taste a bitter sensation.
Okay, cool.
If you're a non-taster, then you won't be able to taste anything when you put the strip on.
All right.
I like these little strips as well. They're little strip bottles. They're very cute. Thank you.
Shall we go at the same time?
Leo, are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's better.
Definitely.
That's very better.
I feel like I should be lying and saying, oh, that's good. I can't taste
Louis
anything.
is sucking the life out of that.
No, nothing.
So you taste nothing?
No.
And Graham?
Mine's broken. I think I need another one.
Are you hungry? So we get Graham some cereal. What do you taste, G?
Absolutely nothing.
Wow.
Paper.
Okay.
Not that I've eaten a lot of paper in my life, but it's like a little...
Tastes like paper.
Yeah, it tastes like paper. You know the spitballs you do at school, that's what it tastes like.
Okay, so one person tasted as bitter, 2 people tasted as nothing. Do you want to tell us more about that?
Yes, so generally, I mean, it actually worked out very well because generally 1 in 3 people does end up being a super taster. Yeah, Leanne, and what that would basically mean is you probably pick up on more flavors than other people do, and you could likely be one of those people that go for the salt shaker to heighten the flavor.
Yeah.
Many chefs are actually super tasters because they're able to pick up on the subtle flavors.
She's going to lord her superiority over me for the rest of this year. You know that. She's going to be taste the scrum. No, it's fine. I'll do it myself. That is very interesting.
It makes a lot of sense because I love intense foods, so I think that makes sense because I'm always looking for that kind of intensity.
Searching for the flavour.
Talking about this situation, how should one re-look your diet if you're trying to balance things out and be less of a super taster or more?
Yes, so as mentioned, one of 2 ways it can go when you're a super taster. On the one side, if you find that you enjoy more bland foods because you find the flavors too overpowering, make sure that you're still getting all your micronutrients. Because oftentimes, the foods with the high flavor are also the ones that have a wide variety of nutrients. And then on the other side, if you search for intense flavors, take care not to go for that salt shaker at the table because super tasters are likely to oversalt their food in search of flavour.
Exactly. Wow, there we go.
So
very
interesting.
informative. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much to Nicole Jennings for being here. Now, if you are guilty of using a little too much salt in your diet and you want to cut down a little, why don't you go and check out cookingfromtheheart.co.za. And remember, we should all aim to consume no more than 5 grams of salt per day.
Okay.
Oh, I need to adjust that salt
Very
shaker on the table.
interesting.
Yeah. All right, listen, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Louis Cole is still hanging out with us. We're learning a lot about YouTubing and Instagram and all these cool things. And he's also going to be introducing us to a very special lady in his life. Her name, Raya.
Ah, super excited. And then, of course, we can give you a chance to win the trip of a lifetime to Egypt. And that's through Tomb Raider. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you super tasters or you tasteless individuals. Time to get into our international entertainment news. Leanne, you look so serious.
I'm not, actually. I'm just serious about entertainment news. Okay, so guys, we all know that Camila Cabello from the hit song Havana.
She is so hot right now.
Hey. She was actually part of the girl group Fifth Harmony. Now the group's remaining members have announced that they are consciously uncoupling and taking an indefinite hiatus. Of course, that's what all of them had to do. I think that maybe she kick-started something that shows that you can be successful, yes, G, after leaving a very successful group.
Doesn't it always, one will be successful and the rest all then struggle? You've got to be the first to kind of get it.
You've got to be the first one to do that, absolutely. Now, the girls were made into a group by Simon Cowell on a reality TV show, and in a joint statement that they said that they need to pursue solo endeavors after 6 years together. Now, although the break might be a surprise to fans, the girls have slowly been building the foundation for solo careers for some time now, working on projects with DJs and collaborating with other artists. So much like One Direction or Destiny's Child, it's unlikely that the group will release another joint album. So put those greatest hits on repeat and enjoy the music that Fifth Harmony has been giving us so far. Who's going to be the Michelle Williams?
Oh, shame, guys.
Hey, stop it.
Because, like, you want to be either Beyonce or the other one. What's her name?
Kelly Rowland. See, 6 years is a good run for a group, and Simon Cowell, my goodness,
nails it,
One Direction, he just knows how to spot talent.
But think of how young they are when they come into that environment. You can't expect them to stay the same people over that period. Yeah, they've got to grow. Exactly.
All right. Well, finally, actress Cynthia Nixon, you might remember her as Marianza from the hit TV show Sex and the City, playing a streetwise, no-nonsense lawyer. While Cynthia's art and real life are emerging as she has announced that she is running for governor of New York, much like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Cynthia is no stranger to politics and has been involved in advocacy work for the LGBTQI community for over a decade. She's also been actively involved in current women's rights movements and is running her campaign with a strong view on educational policy reform. So if Cynthia wins, she'll be the first openly gay woman to hold the governor's office in the state. And if Arnold Schwarzenegger could be governor and Donald Trump could be president, well, then there's no reason why Cynthia can't be the governor.
I don't think she would want to be mentioned in that sentence.
She's anything like her character from Sex and the City being Miranda in real life.
She does strike me as being hardcore,
yeah. She's hardcore.
She'll do a good job. She'll do a good job and hopefully run for president with Kanye West 2020, right?
And Oprah. Let's throw Oprah in the mix too. That's going to be the coolest presidential run ever.
Michelle Obama. Come on, Michelle Obama.
Okay, well, that was our international entertainment news for you on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Oh, what a time to be alive. And speaking and keeping it international, earlier on we met YouTuber extraordinaire, if you will, Louis Cole, who's the host of his channel on YouTube called Fun for Louis, boasting over 2 million subscribers. Take that into your coffee this morning. But Louis often also features a very special lady in his life, his girlfriend Raya, who sometimes surprises him and features him while he's not aware. Take a look at this quickly.
Hey, I'm Raya, and this is hopefully the story of how I'm gonna surprise my boyfriend. My boyfriend Louis is currently doing a 3-month trip around the world in a 6-seater plane with his friend and pilot, JP. Over the past 2 months, I've only seen him twice for about 24 hours each, so it's been really brutal, but we have been talking about where we can meet up along the way, and the place that we've been saying for a while is Australia. As far as he knows, I've applied for my visa and I'm waiting to see if I get it. The truth is, I already have my visa and I'm actually planning to surprise him in Bali, which is where they're going to be right before they go to Australia. And JP said that I could fly with them from Bali to Australia and spend that whole time with them as well.
Cool, go for it. Got you! What? Oh my gosh, what the heck? Oh, I had no idea. Oh my god.
That is absolutely priceless. And ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the most surprising girlfriend of the year, Raya Encheva. Yay! Thanks for joining us. Great to have you here. That look spoke for itself.
It was amazing, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So does this usually happen? I mean, you travel a lot, and you part of what you do as well is travel and blogging about travel as well.
Yeah.
Do you make plans to surprise each other like this very often?
I'm more into surprises than he is. I'm trying to get him to surprise me more, but...
Yeah, I did, to be fair, I did once fly out and surprise her for her birthday like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You guys look like the most amazing couple enjoying the most incredible experiences of life together. Where did this all start? Dare I say it started on YouTube? Please don't say it did.
No, we met in New York before. I didn't even really have an Instagram or anything then. I was just like a normal person, and I met him, and yeah, saw this crazy life that he was living, and I was like, wow, this looks like the dream life, and I'd love to try it out.
The moment we met is actually on camera as well, because I was like arriving, vlogging, and then, you know, met Raya, and I didn't know at that point we were going to be together.
But obviously, doing what you're doing, traveling a lot, people always speak about like distance in a relationship. It's a problem, but you guys seem to be handling it pretty well. Does it help that you both are travelers? How do you make it work when you are apart from each other for such a long time, Raya?
It helps a lot that I'm doing my own thing as well. I think if he were like to go off on this 3-month trip and I was just sitting at home waiting for him, I think that would be really tough. But going on my own trips and stuff, doing my own jobs, I think helps keep me busy. And it helps a lot that he makes these daily videos, because when you miss someone but you get to watch like 15 minutes of their day every day, it helps a lot.
Yeah. What's your time in Cape Town been like? We're seeing some of the footage from Instagram right now of you guys looking like you're having the most amazing... Like, who's out there taking these pictures of you, first of all? Because
Penguin.
It's
an amazing photographer.
No, do you travel with a crew?
We have different friends that travel with us, and I think that's a great thing about kind of doing group trips as well. We just had some friends come out and join, and we did loads of adventures, and everyone's got their cameras out, so it's,
Yeah, what's your time been like for you in Cape Town?
Oh my gosh, there's so much to do here. We've already had 2 months, we have less than a month left, and I feel like I've barely even done any of the things I wanted to do. Yeah, you guys are so lucky to get to live here.
We certainly are, and we definitely do love it. So do you find that you guys feed into each other's ideas? Do you talk about concepts that you have for your next travel adventure, and you go, oh babe, do this, babe, do that? I don't even know if you guys call each other babe, but I just said that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, again, it's so amazing to have our own channels and our own ideas and our own styles of filmmaking, but like we're able to support each other and help each other with our ideas while, shining in our own way.
Where do you guys see the future of this YouTube thing going? Like, what's the promise in it for youngsters out there who are creatives like you, who have a passion? It might not be travel, it could be music, it could be the arts, it could be the culinary sciences, whatever it might be. Where do you think the future lies in YouTube?
I think for me, like, it's just an amazing platform for anyone to have a voice, and I think that's the great thing about the internet as well. It provides this platform to hopefully spread good messages and positive stuff. It is really competitive because obviously everyone's wanting to do it nowadays. But I still think kind of pursue your dreams. I wouldn't try and aim to get into it from the start as a career. It's amazing that we both have the opportunity to have this as our living, but I think do something you're passionate about and treat it as just a fun thing that you can pursue rather than necessarily a way to make money or something.
Excellent.
And then hopefully that could be a bonus if you do build a big enough audience.
Exactly, especially if you're loving it while doing it. And your secret to being a good travel vlogger?
I think there was like a switch that went off one time when I was vlogging, and I was like, I just need to get all the numbers out of my head, like who's gonna watch this, and just be like, what would I want to tell my friends back at home, especially on our travel experiences, you know, what would you write home about, what would you write your mom about, your best friend about? And I think the more that, like, when you think of it that way and you just picture your best friend behind the camera, then it's so much easier to just be genuine and
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's
great advice, and I love it. I can't wait to check your stuff out. You can follow at Fun for Louis. You can follow at RayaWasHere, all on all social media platforms. Thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your time in Cape Town.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Louis and Raya, come on! Woo! Lovely.
Awesome. Well, from the mobile screen to the big screen, one of 2018's undoubtedly biggest big screen releases made its start as a revolutionary video game. First off, it is, of course, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and today Lara Croft returns tougher than ever for Tomb Raider. Helming the heroism is a new generation, the exceptionally talented Academy Award winner Alicia Vikander. Using her grit, her wit and adventurous spirit and the irrepressible will to survive, Miss Croft must uncover the mysteries of her father's disappearance. But the young Tomb Raider's origins are also intensely physically forged as well. The gorgeous Oscar winner pulls no punches and puts in some serious sweat, so it is action-packed, fast-paced and guaranteed to keep you on the edge of your seat by the tips of your fingers. I've had a sneak peek. It looks amazing. So if you also have that thirst for adventure, then we have got the ultimate competition for you. Expresso, Warner Brothers Pictures and Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Pictures are celebrating the Tomb Raider's return by giving you the opportunity to win a chance of a lifetime trip for two to Egypt worth 75,000 Rand. Now, you too can explore the ancient wonders of Luxor, be awed by the grandeur of the Valley of the Kings, experience the secrets of King Tutankhamun's tomb, and meet real-life mummies in the flesh, or in the wrapping at least. It is going to be insane. So to be our lucky winner, visit the Expresso Facebook page, find the competition post and tell us about a moment in your life where you proudly rose to the occasion, overcame the odds or achieved the unexpected, just like Lara Croft did in Tomb Raider. The competition closes this Friday. All those terms and conditions can be found on expressoshow.com. But let's take a look at what it takes to actually be Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider.
Lara, your father's gone. You can pick up where he left off.
I'm not a freaking superhero.
Now I see the likeness. Recklessness.
What do you know about my father?
Our world is in danger.
Oh, that looks incredible.
Out. That movie looks amazing.
Can't wait to hear JP's review on that. Well, we're taking a quick break. When we get back, we have another performance from Dewald Wasserfall. He's on your Feel Good Breakfast show, so don't miss that out.
And then because we're inquisitive and we've got Louis Cole here, we want to find out, what does a travel vlogger have in his bag?
Miss out.
Iets daarvoor. Op een voet, zal ik op. Aangeer. Dat die vrees je laat vergeet. En die storm sê, hy gaan vir jou verniel. Nog en niks oorbly in die eerste stukkie siel. Maar jy moet weet, jy is die storm. En as niks wat jou uit mekaar kan skeer, nie die bangmaak stories op die donder weer. Want jy moet weet, jy is die storm. Jy is die storm.
It's time right now for some Tuesday tunes on your feel-good breakfast show. Dewald Wasserfall in the house, and of course you can catch him live on the 1st of April at the Zevenwacht Wine Estate. He'll be part of the Picnic and Musiek Festival, and he's about to perform some music for us right now. A song called Jy is die storm.
Hou aanloop, en hou aanglo, as iets op hoor. Hou aanvoel, en hou aangee, moenie laat die vrees jou laat vergeet. En die storm sê, ek gaan vir jou verniel, daar gaan niks oorbly nie, eens 'n stukkie siel, maar jy moet weet, jy is die storm. En as niks wat jou uit mekaar kan skeer, nie die bang maak stories op die donder weer, want jy moet weet, jy is die storm, jy is die storm. En wees die lig, diep in die nacht, van ons soveel wat verhoop lê en bag, en kom wys die pad oor die berge, want op die einde van die dag het ons mekaar. En die storm sê, ek gaan vir jou verniel, daar gaan niks oorbly nie, eens 'n stukkie siel, maar jy moet weet, jy is die storm. En as niks wat jou uit mekaar kan skeer, nie die bang maak stories op die donder weer, want jy moet weet, jy is die storm, jy is die storm. En jou vyand sal jou naam nooit kan vergeet, dit moet jy weet, jy is die storm. Dis die bottels waar die grootste gif op meet, die gif op meet. En die storm sê, hy gaan vir jou verniel, daar gaan niks oorbly nie, eens 'n stukkie siel, maar jy moet weet, jy is die storm. En as niks wat jou uit mekaar kan skeer, nie die bang maak stories op die donder weer, want jy moet weet, jy is die storm. En die storm sê, ek gaan vir jou verniel, daar gaan niks oorbly nie, eens 'n stukkie siel, maar jy moet weet, jy is die storm. En as niks wat jou uit mekaar kan skeer, nie die bang maak stories op die donder weer, want jy moet weet, jy is die storm, jy is die storm.
Dewald Wasserfall, jy is die storm. Baie dankie meneer, lekker musiek, thank you so much man. So other than the 1st of April where you'll be performing live at the Picnic and Musiek, where can people catch you live? I know you're a very busy man.
Yeah, we're doing a bit of a tour through Cape Town this week. We're doing Die Boer tonight in Durbanville, and tomorrow night we're at Evita Perron in Darling.
Lovely.
And then we're doing the Janeza Plaas Theater in Bonnievale, and then we're doing Plattelanders in Strand. And then EJ's and die Parel.
There we go. And what does the rest of 2018 have in store for you?
We're very excited. We're bringing out a new album this year. Busy working on that. As well as Afrikaans is Groot towards the end of the year. Any Boss is coming up as well. It's going to be an interesting one.
Fantastic one. Yeah, absolutely. Well, enjoy the rest of 2018. Thank you for sharing music with us. You can follow him at Dewald Wasserfall, and of course catch him also just after 9 o'clock on our live Facebook broadcast. In the meantime, link up with us on the social media pages and let us know what you thought about that performance of Jy is die storm.
In the national news this morning, retired Deputy Chief Justice Dikgang Moseneke has ordered the government to pay the victims of the Life Esidimeni tragedy each 1.2 million rand in total for a variety of violations, including constitutional damages. Moseneke made the order in Parktown, Johannesburg yesterday as part of redress for the deaths of 114 mentally ill patients. or rather 144 mentally ill patients. He said the senior Gauteng government health officials could not substantiate their reasons for terminating the long-standing contract with Life Esidimeni. Gauteng Premier David Makhura said government would honour the award for victims of the tragedy as ordered by Moseneke. The Civil Aviation Authority of South Africa says it will honour the ruling of the Johannesburg High Court, which ordered the Gupta family to hand over the Bombardier Global 6000 aircraft to Export Development Canada Bank within 15 days. The bank brought the application against the Guptas over a lease agreement relating to the Bombardier, which is valued at $41 million. The jet made headlines back in 2013 when it landed at the Waterkloof Air Force Base with VIPs aboard who were to attend a Gupta's nuptials at Sun City in Northwest Province. Now moving further abroad, Russian President Vladimir Putin struck a softer tone towards the West yesterday after winning his biggest ever election victory, saying he had no desire for an arms race. 65-year-old Putin's victory, which comes at a time when his relations with the West are on a hostile trajectory, will extend his political dominance of Russia by 6 years to 2024. That will make him the longest-serving ruler since Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin back in the 50s. And then finally, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari will not attend the African Union summit in Kigali, Rwanda this week. This is viewed as a severe setback to plans to launch a major free trade treaty against 54 African countries. The meeting is intended to formally launch the African Continental Free Trade Area Treaty. President Cyril Ramaphosa will lead South Africa's delegation to the summit, which has the theme Winning the Fight Against Corruption, a sustainable path to Africa's transformation. Well, that was your 8 o'clock news update. Here's a final look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham Richards.
Let's kick it off with local football news. Bidvest Wits duo Gavin Hunt and Lehlohonolo Machoro have walked away with PSL Coach and Player of the Month awards respectively for February. And that's last month the defending league champions secured 2 wins and a draw in their 3 PSL matches, with Machoro finding the back of the net 4 times. Now with the international break upon us, Bafana will of course be in action on Thursday as they take on Angola in the first game of their 4 Nations campaign. Then on to rugby news. On the international field, Scotland have moved 1 place up to 5th on the latest Rugby World Rankings, which has seen the Springboks now drop down to 6th. Well, the Boks haven't been in action since November. Scotland's move up the rankings came courtesy of their 29-27 win over Italy in the Six Nations this past weekend. At the top of the rankings, New Zealand, of course, still holding on to 1st place, with Ireland in 2nd and England on somewhat shaky ground in 3rd. Then we bring it back to local rugby. Stars are born in the Varsity Cup, and round 8 of the Varsity Cup took place last night. It saw Tuks and UJ draw, while the Shimlas, Puka and UCT all recorded victories. The University of Pretoria avoided a 6th defeat this season as they fought back from 7-20 down to secure an unlikely 30-all draw against the University of Johannesburg. Elsewhere, the Shimlas beat NMMU 28-22. Puka beat Wits by 4 points, while UCT recorded a 30-23 win over CUT. Then finally, onto the world's toughest mountain biking race. Stage 1 of the 2018 Cape Epic wrapped up in Robertson yesterday as Manuel Fumic and Henrique Avancini of Cannondale Factory Racing claimed the victory. In a sprint finish to the 110-kilometer route, the Cannondale pair crossed the finish line in 4 hours, 8 minutes and 22 seconds. While in the ladies' race, Annika Langvat and Kate Courtney finished first in 4 hours and 45 minutes. And that's where we leave our sports news for today.
Well, let's take one final look at the roads, starting off in Gauteng, Johannesburg. There's been an accident on the N3 northbound. That's at Marlborough Drive. That left lane is currently blocked, so please approach with caution. If you're in the Western Cape in Cape Town, there's a stationary taxi on the N2 inbound. That's at Searle Street. The middle lane is currently blocked, so please approach with caution. And in Durbanville, on the N1 inbound before Durban Road, the emergency lane is blocked due to an accident, so please approach with caution. That's where I leave your traffic, but let's take one final look at your weather. We start off with your temperatures in Polokwane, where you can expect a minimum of 14 with a maximum of 28. Thunder showers expected in Mbombela, a low of 18 and a high of 29. Pretoria 16, 28. Johannesburg 15, 25. Partly cloudy conditions in Mahikeng, a low of 17 and a high of 30. If you're in Klerksdorp today, a low of 15 can be expected with a high of 28. Kimberley 16, reaching a high of 32. Bloemfontein 13, 29. Richards Bay 23 with a high of 30. Partly cloudy conditions in Pietermaritzburg, a low of 17, a high of 30. Partly cloudy conditions in Durban 22 with a high of 28. Mthatha 17, 28. East London 18, 26. Partly cloudy conditions in Cradock, a low of 14 with a high of 33. Port Elizabeth 16, 22, George 12 with a high of 21. Sunny conditions in Sutherland, a low of 7, a high of 26. Cape Town today partly cloudy with a low of 15, a high of 21. Worcester 10, 29. Springbok 7 with a high of 28. And sunny conditions in Uppington with a low of 17 and a high of 36 degrees Celsius. And that's where we leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
If you've just tuned in, we're checking out some Facebook here. Of course, Dewald Wasserfall, our guest artist this morning. We asked you what your favorite track was and what you think about his music, and good things all round. Kura says, I'm not good in Afrikaans, but I love the song. The guitar tunes awesomely played this morning. Melissa says, hi guys, wow, definitely Yosi Storm, very inspiring words. Angela Ngobile saying performance was great. Keep making us happy. Lemise, love it. Love that song. Palesa also saying great performance. My day made. Irene saying a big 10 out of 10. Love his music. And Kimang Patutsezo says, I love his music, great performance. Also, Teresa saying, awesome, enjoyed it very much. Angel says, nice one, perfect. So we're loving all the comments. Let us know what you think about our guest artist and his music. Of course, remember to catch him on the 1st of April at the Zevenwacht Wine Estate at the Picnic and Music Festival. His name is Dewald Wasserfall. You can follow him on social media as well. Of course, use hashtag Expresso Show when you tweet or Facebook us.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Savor the music. I love it.
We're so silly.
Every day we know millions of people get to celebrate their birthday, so as we welcome in today, the 20th of March, let's take a moment to wish some celebs, and of course you at home, a very happy birthday.
That's right. Born on this day in 1986, Australian model, DJ, singer and actress Ruby Rose celebrates her birthday today. Now, Ruby Rose is emerged in media as the face of a major American makeup brand, and recently starred in Orange is the New Black.
I was wondering where we knew her from.
And she's in Pitch Perfect as well.
She's gorgeous, she's hardcore, and she's celebrating her birthday. Likewise, South African-born Australian singer and actor Dean Geyer. Now, do you think he's still a Geyer, or is he a Geyer?
Oh,
come
wow,
on, Leanne, man.
Gorgeous.
Just keep it on TV. No, yeah, 20th of March in 1986 is where he rose to fame on Australian singing competition. So he's got the voice. He's also in the Australian soap opera Neighbours, and has most notably portrayed Brodie Weston in season 4 of Glee. He darn made it.
He's beautiful. And then also celebrating his birthday today is South African cricketer Nicky Boyer. Boyer, yes?
The Boach,
Born on March the 20th, 1973. Now, Nicky has represented South Africa in 43 tests, 115 one-day internationals, and a single T20 international. So very happy to Nicky. Hey?
Yeah,
absolutely.
man. No, he's a legend of the game. We love you, Nicky, and we love all of you celebrating your birthdays today. Likewise, some of our viewers, Mbave, Ronnie Manda. Look how suave you are, man.
That pose though, eh?
Move over, Dean Geyer.
That pose.
Mbave has arrived. Beautiful, man.
Wow.
Used a bit of a filter there, I think, in his face as well. Eh? That's lovely, man. So happy birthday, my brother.
Exactly.
Thank you for sharing your pick, your birthday, your beautiful day with us.
And that's our bite-sized dose of birthdays today. Remember, you can share your birthday with us, or even wish someone that you love by tweeting us at Expresso
Do the
Show.
Mbave. Do the Mbave.
Well, happy birthday to you if today's your birthday. We are taking a very quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. When we get back, we are celebrating South Africa's top club swimmers. And then, of course, Louis, Cole and Raya still with us in studio. If you ever wondered what's in a vlogger's travel bag, well, they'll show us after the break.
Presenter Search on 3 is back and is brought to you by Mac Cafe.
Do you have what it takes to shine night and day and in all the moments in between?
Can you dazzle with a winning smile, turn on the charm and take our breath away.
Are you ready to be South Africa's next television and social media superstar?
Well, this is your chance to become the face of SABC3 and take your place in the spotlight as the newest presenter of Top Billing, Afternoon Express or the Expresso Morning Show.
Cordova Productions presents this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to claim your fame and build your brand and a career filled with unlimited opportunities.
Auditions are taking place in Port Elizabeth on the 25th of March, Cape Town on the 7th and 8th of April,
Durban on the 14th and 15th of April, and Johannesburg on the 20th, 21st and 22nd of April.
Visit the Presenter Search on 3 website, Facebook or Twitter for more details.
With Presenter Search on 3 and Mac Cafe, the stage will be yours.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and you're just in time as it's Travel Tuesday. And you've guessed it, we're about to play our regular travel guessing game. So if you if you love traveling or you're a geography lover, then this game is definitely for you. So show us your travel smarts by guessing where in the world this week's mystery city is, and you can share your guesses on social media. That's on Twitter and Facebook with the hashtag Expresso Show.
All right, so let the games begin. Are you ready? Zoe, are you ready? Okay,
I'm ready.
The very first clue this morning is that we're looking for the name of a coastal state in Mexico, known for its beaches, its natural wonders, and festivities.
Oh, and then did you know that this state hosts a lively carnival every year this week? In fact, the week before the start of Lent, and the carnival dates back to the 1800s and is a celebration of spring.
Very interesting. Now, the state is also surrounded by water on 3 sides, and its beaches are world famous. The Sea of Cortez is a must-see destination. You have to say it like that. Cortez. And of course, it's for snorkeling and home to Isla Espiritu Santo, a series of shallow inlets and pink cliffs.
Oh, sounds beautiful. Now, you can also find Land's End in the state, and Land's End is a jagged natural feature that is partially covered by the tide, a home of sea lions and pelicans. It's just one of the many natural wonders this sunny state has to offer.
Well, if you think you know where we're talking about this morning, why don't you head over to social media, go to Facebook, and of course let us know where our mystery city is today. It's looking absolutely amazing. La Isla Bonita, huh? It looks amazing.
Oh my goodness, just looking at those images, I was like, I want to add this place to my bucket list.
It's definitely on my bucket list. So use that hashtag Expresso Show and let us know where in the world are we talking about today.
Well, it is a Travel Tuesday, so when you speak about where in the world and you're traveling a lot, of course, there's lots and lots of stuff to pack and stuff you forget. You're like, what am I going to do without it? So you can imagine that if you're a professional YouTube vlogger and travel vlogger and blogger, you must consider this very, very carefully. Take a look at how Louis puts together his travel pack.
So guys, after many, many hours, it's actually now dark, it's very late at night, I have managed to set all of the things out that I'm going to be taking with me around the world. There may be some things here actually that I don't end up bringing, but I've laid out pretty much all of the things and I'm attempting to fit them in that bag. Okay, guys, we did it. We packed everything into here.
And then you also remember to make your appointment with the chiropractor when you come back from your trip. But okay, Louis, that's incredible, man. You could fit all of those things into your bag. Raya, you must be impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I think because we travel full time, it's actually a little bit easier with packing because all of our belongings fit into our bag. So it's not like, oh, what are we forgetting? It's like literally everything is coming in the bag.
Did you notice how I had no clothes in my bag?
Exactly. So you traveled like
Remember
just to
how I
change
was
your shirt?
traveling before with
Yeah.
I had like all of my tech stuff in here, and then I had just a small plastic bag that I threw some clothes in as like a side bag.
Like, that's what's important. That toiletries and shirts. Who cares? It's all about that. But you brought your bag with us to show us some of the most essential.
This is the light version of that. So this is just what I could grab this morning. But yeah, I'll show you quickly.
See okay, at least there's an item of clothing in there.
Yeah,
there's a sweater. So.
This is probably normally on a trip for a week or two. This is probably like the amount of clothes I'll bring. Just like a sweater, some shorts.
Hide the underwear. It's a family
Hide
show.
the underwear. But then I'd say at least half my bag, if not 2/3 of my bag's like tech stuff. So this is like a drone, like obviously like ways to film things.
Yeah.
And then people don't think about this when you're traveling constantly. Like this is what I'm traveling with for hard drive space at the moment. This is 12 terabytes
of the weight of that.
It's pretty weighty.
Oh wow.
So that's 12 terabytes, and then I've got even more storage on here. These are all like 4 terabyte drives, and then I've got like all my GoPros and like just basically loads of tech gear. And there's tons of wires usually, like loads of cables and power cables. And
how long does packing take you?
At least an hour, I would say, for him.
Yeah, I'm just frantic. I'm like, and each time I pack, I still haven't like perfected my method because I'm always getting new pieces of tech.
Yes.
And I'm always like weighing up, like, maybe I don't need to travel with this, and maybe I can like ditch.
It's like
that
a game of
next time.
Tetris every time, for sure.
Trying to fit everything in there. Okay, so tell me, what is the most important thing that when you're traveling you cannot go without? Raya, and for you, Louis, afterwards.
I mean, it's just laptop and camera. Everything else, like, I've had times where all my clothes didn't show up or whatever, and it's like, clothes you can buy, whatever, but laptop, camera, hard drives, and we're good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd say laptop, other than passport, obviously. Yeah. Passport and bank. Honestly, passport and, like, bank card for me, like, because then you can just buy things if you're in an emergency. Yeah. But other than those, I'd say your phone could double up as an emergency camera for stuff. Like,
True.
I don't typically use it, but then, laptop for editing.
And what's the one thing you always manage to forget to pack when you're traveling?
It's got to be toiletries, like toothpaste and random things, which is normally not a problem, but some countries just don't have the things that we're used to, so it can get tough.
I don't know, because I don't have a home base, it's rare that I forget something because that just means I like left it at a hotel rather than I forgot to pack it from home. So I don't know. I don't typically forget things, but
that's good. Well, I'm glad we've gotten to see the inside of your bag, and clearly doing this thing as a profession, as a living, is more than just the fun that we see, the highlights, the end product. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication to your craft. So thank you for sharing your journeys with us. And as I said earlier on, you can follow each of them at Fun for Louis, at RayaWasHere, to follow in on their journeys on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, and all those. Thank you for joining us.
So this past week, South Africa's top club swimmers were in action at the 34th Annual Masters Swimming Championships held in Tshwane. Joining us this morning to give their rundown of this year's championships and a phenomenal year for master swimming in South Africa last year on the international circuit, we've got McLeroth and Kathryn Nurse from the Cape Town Masters Swimming Club. Guys, welcome to it. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Busy time of the year for you guys, I know. Talk me through the 2018 championships. Was it a successful run? How are we feeling about this year's national champs?
We had a great week in Pretoria. I think about 50 odd of our club members went up to, what was the pool called?
Tshwane, the Hillcrest Pool in Tshwane.
Hillcrest Pool. And we broke some world records, some SA records. Took a lot of medals home, and everyone had a great week. My voice is still suffering from
you're the resident
cheerleader, so it was good fun.
What is the vibe like at one of these events? I mean, your voice is a fantastic declaration of how intense that team spirit is, but how cool is it for all of you to come together for these national champs? Maybe Greg?
Yeah, it's a fantastic experience for all of us. I mean, it just fills our our souls with fuel, you know, for a couple of days. It's really just all about swimming, and we kind of leave our lives behind for a bit, so it's quite indulgent. But it's an amazing team experience. Yeah, fantastic.
How did you get into master swimming? Where I can see the emotional investment is there.
Yeah.
Where did it begin for you?
I was a bit of a recreational swimmer. I have a swimming background when I was younger, but I was mostly a recreational swimmer until about 5 or 6 years ago, swimming at a local gym here in Cape Town.
Wow.
A mate of mine said, why don't you come and join a squad? Took him about 6 months to bend my ear. Eventually I joined the squad. Then the coach said, you look like you're okay. Why don't you come and swim in a gala? You go and swim in a gala, you get a time, and then you set your benchmark. Before you know it, 5, 6 years later,
you're an
champs,
athlete.
world champs. It's great, yeah.
Yeah, you're hooked.
I absolutely love that. What blows my mind is you were saying to me earlier that you started at about 25 is the entry age group, going up to a category of 105 to 109 years old. Has there been a South African swimmer that old or close to that age, or is that just on an international?
We have a South African woman in our team. She's close to 90.
She's 94, Kasha.
94, yeah, and her son swims with us as well.
Does she race alone? How do you, she must.
No, she does have some competition.
She came second in one of her races at the World Champs last year, so she doesn't race alone.
That's so awesome.
And she also started diving recently. So she used to start in the pool, but now she's actually managed to dive.
Oh, this must inspire you on so many levels every day. And when we talk about, you mentioned the internationals. Last year, a very happy hunting ground in Budapest. Talk me through your performance at the international championships.
Well, our team did extremely well. I think we won the medals overall. We had about 22 medals in the guys category. The ladies went away with 17 medals, and we won 10 relay medals. So overall, I think we were in the lead by 14 medals or so.
Why? What sets South Africa apart? Because we're not dealing, this is an interesting dynamic for me, because we're not talking about professional sport here. We're talking about something entirely different. To be able to achieve on that level, what is it? Are we just incredibly fit, athletic people? What drives, do you think, the success of master swimming in South Africa?
I think Cape Town Masters is just an incredibly strong swimming team right now. We just happen to have this massive amount of talent. And
the
maybe
great
we
vibe
train...
attracts more people to
your voice. Just say it, Kathryn. Your cheering ability is what gets you across the line. What's next for you guys? What's the next big event that we can go and watch and support?
We're going to South Korea next year for the World Champs. We basically piggyback on the main World Champs, the FINA World Champs, where all the big names swim. Then we sort of the week afterwards in the same facilities, and so that's something we're all working towards.
Once the crowds and the water are all warmed up, then you go and take over. Greg, Kathryn, thank you so much. Congratulations. Sounds like you guys are having a phenomenal time while achieving all these things as well. So long may that remain the case. But please send our best to all the team and congratulate them as well. Good luck. We might not be able to join you in Korea, but we'll certainly be with you.
Well, we'd like to invite as many people to come and swim, just to swim. You know, that's what it's all about. The best outcome is actually good health.
Yeah.
So
and friendships.
Anybody who wants to come and swim, please.
I love that, and clearly a lot of joy. We'll put all of your details up on screen. Greg, Kathryn, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Graham. Cheers.
Thank you so much, G. Well, still to come after the break, we're going to look at how to recycle both at home and at work.
And then also we'll follow Lala Hirayama as she spreads some hashtag crush goodness. We'll see you after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. Yes, you're tuned into the show that gives you all of the feel-good vibes. Now, it's a saying that we've heard before. Since we know the effect that human beings have on the world. We know about reduce, reuse, recycle. But I think in South Africa, a lot of people still think that it's such a massive effort to change your life and to reduce, reuse, recycle. And that's why we're getting into the spirit of Global Recycling Day, which took place this past Sunday. And we're going to share with you some tips on how you can leave your green footprint.
And tread more lightly on the earth as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's begin with the home, because that's where it always starts at home, everybody. It's ideal if households sort their own waste so that uncontaminated, recyclable material can be collected. Now, items that are usually used in the kitchen, like glass, cans, plastic, and long-life cartons, can be stored immediately in a box under the sink. Just ensure to give them a drain and quickly rinse them so that they stay hygienic as well.
Absolutely.
But that's really cool.
And you mentioned glass as well, because it's very important that you don't leave anything sharp in there while you do so, because it can pose a danger and a hazard not only to your family, but also to the people out there who have to work through the sorting at the depot. So it also helps for you to label various recycling bays so your visitors at home can know exactly where to put the food waste, where to place the recyclable materials, etc., etc. So take some time just to do that. It'll make the process a lot easier for you.
Exactly. And then paper-based materials like cardboard and packaging, newspapers, magazines can easily be stored inside a cupboard or a large sack or even a large drawer. So be sure to keep these items separate from your kitchen recycling so they can stay dry and clean at the same time. You can also go online to find depots that are dedicated to sorting through these materials, and it's easy to drop them off at a collection point as well. So.
Absolutely, yeah. And a clever way to recycle is also to repurpose or to upcycle certain things around your home. And we've seen Zoe doing it multiple times, converting an old CD spindle into a bagel holder, if you will. Take a look at that. It works. It works.
That's
just make
amazing.
sure you've cleaned it out nicely. Turning old bottle caps into tea lights. Look at that. You can absolutely do that. Or bending your old unused wrenches into wall hooks. Look at that. I mean, that's so unique.
Levels. I like that so much.
Got it. You'll need some strength to do that, but you know, it is worth doing. So, of course, this gives your home a very unique feel and saving on money and buying items all new. And it's a great way of just being, I think, creative in your home. And at the end of the day, like you said, just leaving a more greener footprint, treading lighter on the earth, and just taking care of what we have right now. We've seen the disaster of what can happen when we mess around with our natural resources. Don't do it.
Exactly. Don't do it, like he said. Don't do it, Captain. Now, do you have any more recycling tips for us? You can share so with the rest of us, our Expresso family. Be sure to leave your comments on our social media pages.
Now, the Clover Crush team, they've been on a mission to give 10,000 school children a brand new pair of school shoes all across South Africa. And the Goodness team, they've been having the help of celebrities to help them out in their quest to spread love and goodness. And their latest celeb is Lala Hiriyama, and I got to meet up with her in Bellville at Winsley Primary School to see just how far a little bit of goodness can go. We all know Lala Hiriyama as the Japanese South African TV host, actress, dancer, and sensational model that often features on your TV screens, and she's a regular feature on the Hollywood red carpet interviewing big stars. Today, she traded her high heels for school shoes, 10,000 school shoes to be exact, as the Clover #CrushGoodness campaign spreads some hope and goodness in communities across South Africa.
Goodness is at the heart of what Clover Crush stands for, and this brand promise evolved into an incredible initiative aimed at spreading goodness among school children.
Well, Lala, you are known for traveling across the globe and always interviewing Hollywood's who's who. What made you decide to be part of the Clover #CrushGoodness campaign back home?
Spreading a little goodness really does go a long way. So when Clover approached me, I was like, are you kidding me? Of course I want to be a part of such a wonderful blessing. You know, improving the lives of children, which is of course our future, is a very, very important thing for all of us to try and do. I think giving and receiving is a cycle. Inspiring the children to give kindness and to understand what kindness is extremely important.
Why did you choose Lala to be part of the Crush Goodness campaign this year?
So Clover Crush is all about goodness, and we wanted someone who's vibrant, full of energy, good, who actually resonates what the brand stands for. So Lala's personality, we saw that she has a lot of goodness, hence we chose someone like her who's good with the kids, can entertain them, and can be part of the goodness crew. So that's why we chose Lala Hiriyama.
Children represent the future, and by giving them new pairs of sturdy, comfortable school shoes, they can focus on learning and help uplift their community.
So how can a simple pair of school shoes change a child's life and mindset?
In the past, different organizations came to our school and then they just asked for children without shoes at that specific point in time. But by the time we do get the school shoes, there's a lot of other children who don't have school shoes anymore. Clover actually makes a huge difference in the sense that this year, each one of our children do get a pair.
I know a lot of these children go through a lot of hardships, and some kids stop coming to school because they don't have school shoes or they don't have the certain things, basic needs that all children should have. So to be part of this and to see the smiles on their faces, wow, what a blessing.
I mean, you can see how much confidence comes back to the child, and that's exactly what we want, and that makes a huge difference.
These new Smart Steps school shoes by Novita will hopefully inspire these children to be good to someone else and help generate a movement of goodness in South Africa.
Ek het baie gelukkig gevoel toe ek my skoene vanoggend ontvang het.
When I received my shoes today, I felt very happy and surprised.
As mense dan sal gesê as jy iets gee dan sal jy iets weer terugkry.
This is the 12th and final stop of the campaign. What has the feedback been from the public and that of social media?
With the hashtag Crush Goodness, we have encouraged the culture of spreading goodness to the community. So whatever goodness they're spreading in their space, they also use our hashtag Crush Goodness to spread goodness. So that has been a positive feedback from the public. Others were asking us to come to their schools, and some who wanted also to come to the campaign and help us contribute school shoes. So we are very happy with the feedback that we've been receiving from social media.
What was it like for you today to see firsthand how fast a little bit of goodness can be spread?
To see those faces, wow, they are really our nation's hope, and to see them smile and to be happy and to laugh and to dance and be part of this fantastic activation was just such a great experience. It put a big smile on my face, but more importantly in my heart.
I think it's very important for our youth and as South Africans to remember that a closed hand cannot receive, and we need to treat people the way we wish to be treated. So if we want to receive life with kindness and goodness and generosity, we need to show that as well, and we need to live by example first and foremost before receiving.
A little dose of goodness goes a long way, and it could be something small that changes lives.
Traveling around the world as much as you do for your job, you know how South Africans and South Africa is represented. Why do you think it's so important to spread positive and inspirational stories?
I think it's very important for South Africans to see ourselves as a nation that is full of opportunity and that we are really up there with the best. Traveling, I've been able to see that we're some of the friendliest, most intelligent, kindest people that are here on this planet, and we need to give ourselves some credit. So doing good and showing each other that we are exactly that is very, very important, and being part of this campaign has done that. And let's do it again, Clover. Come on.
Well, may your feet take you where your heart wants to go. And to the 10,000 students who all receive brand new school shoes, that journey has been made a little easier, this time filled with confidence and a little dose of goodness. Do you guys love your new shoes?
Yes!
Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
Awesome, and I think rather sobering reality that South Africa lives in, but so awesome to see what Clover and our team are doing to counter that. It makes me so happy to welcome back this beautiful young thing who's got like a Balinese vibe about her. Welcome back, Amy. Looks like you had the best time ever, living your best life, as we say on Instagram. But today we're talking about low sodium. I found out that I'm not a super taster, okay? which
Nothing to be ashamed of.
I hope so. I don't know, but we have been talking about the link between obviously needing more taste in your food, and often that then brings in more salt. But we have far too much salt.
It's kind of the thing that we go to as a quick thought, but there are so many other beautiful ways that you can flavour your food with herbs, with garlic, with some lovely spices. Paprika, for example, if you want that smokiness and kind of a little bit of heat. You actually don't need to add salt to a lot of your foods. A lot of foods naturally have a little bit of sodium in them. But what we're going to create here is a beautiful one-dish sodium, like really low sodium meal. So we're not adding any salt at all.
I'm seeing our Clover Crush orangey. Are we
That's
making
right.
orange chicken?
Well,
are we making orange chicken?
We're using the citrus from the orange juice to also add that beautiful brightness and flavour that you can get out of the veggies and the chicken.
Very Balinese. How are you?
So first of all, what I'm just going to do is just pile the chicken into a big baking dish. You want to kind of preset your oven to about 200 degrees.
So quite hot.
Exactly,
Okay.
quite hot. So you can do 180, but I like getting the nice crispiness on the skin of the chicken, really.
You want it to caramelize. You want to
Exactly.
taste that. There's nothing greater in this world than chicken skin, that is crispy.
I mean, it's quite a little decadent treat, but I love it.
No, full on. It's a natural fat.
Exactly.
That's what I always tell myself.
And then
It's
we're going
natural
to
fat, it's
pile in some beautiful vegetables. So right over here, I've just got one gorgeous aubergine or eggplant or brinjal, whatever you like to call them. And we're just going to roughly chop everything in. So the idea
One
here
quite chunky, yeah?
is that we've got a mix of different vegetables and we've got some starch. So we've got some beautiful sweet potato over there. We've got some lovely red pepper, and we're going to put in our garlic cloves whole. So we're not actually going to chop them up. And the reason is that the garlic then infuses its flavour into the dish. But then you can remove the cloves afterwards, or you can squeeze out the beautiful roasted
It'll be nice and
sweet
soft,
garlic.
yeah.
Exactly, and I love that.
I notice here what we've got, foods that could take quite a long time to cook. The chicken as a whole would take a long time. The potato as a whole would take a long time.
Yes.
But by chopping up, by creating slightly smaller pieces, obviously it'll cook a lot more quickly. But
I mean, you're still going to put this in the oven for about, let's say, about 45 minutes to an hour. Depending obviously on the size of your chicken pieces, the size of your veggies. I like obviously getting things crispy. So what's great about this is a weeknight meal is you can kind of put it all together, put it in the oven, and then carry on doing everything.
This is 2 or 3 days worth of deliciousness.
Exactly.
But the flavour infusion here, I think, is the most important thing. So the longer, the better.
Exactly. So we're going to take some of our lovely orange juice over here, Clover Crush, and we're just going to pour about half a cup of this all over the beautiful veggies and chicken. You kind of want to get everything like nicely covered and juicy.
And
everything will release its natural juices anyway, and then you'll have a beautiful sauce. Then we're going to take some of our lovely paprika, which is that beautiful smoky kind of, not too hot, so you can always add some fresh chili also to get that flavour. But the paprika I just find is that warm, gorgeous kind of...
Well, that's something, you're not compromising on the flavour.
No, not at all. And then we're just going to put these garlic cloves kind of all around the chicken so that they infuse. And then we've got some beautiful thyme, which you just kind of break up just to get those.
And there is nothing, thyme or sage with chicken for me is
such
the
a winner.
ultimate. Yeah.
You can use rosemary as well, and you can actually make this dish more Mediterranean by adding a tin of tomatoes if you like. So it gets it nice and juicy Mediterranean, and then you use basil instead. So there's so many ways you can take this as a kind of basic dish and just mix it up.
You haven't lost your touch, girl. You haven't lost your touch. The keyword here is chicken to 33728. That's chicken to 33728, and we will send you this ingredients list for about 45 minutes to an hour. Oven set at 200 degrees.
And as you can see over here, we've got a gorgeous finished dish with our lovely crispy chicken skin, our veggies properly cooked through, and there's our fancy little garlic over there, which you can just kind of
ready for the
squeeze out.
plucking. Ready for the plucking. And the keyword again is chicken. Thank you, Ams. You're a genius.
Pleasure.
Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
For what we are about to
Dibs
receive.
on that, though.
For what
Dibs.
we are about to receive.
Now for what I'm about to receive,
Orange
because I
chicken.
called dibs. All right, well, coming up after the break, we're also talking about the health benefits of your daily oats.
Yeah. And of course, we also talk about a new venture, if you will, on YouTube called Live the Adventure that is putting South African YouTubers on, helping them live out their best dreams. Stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show. We'll be right back after I eat this chicken.
No, wait.
Yeah. Just, whoa.
The
This week, feel the goodness on Expresso with Clover Crush. It's often the little things that have the biggest impact. And Clover Crush is spreading goodness by donating school shoes to 10,000 learners across South Africa. In partnership with Smart Steps Shoes, discover some of the beneficiary schools and meet the famous faces who'll be spreading positivity with Clover Crush. Don't miss Expresso, weekday mornings from 6:30 a.m. on SABC3. The stage is yours.
It's my feel-good breakfast show. Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show. I hope you've been having a fantastic Tuesday so far.
Exactly. Well, we all know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but let's actually find out what are the health benefits of jungle oats.
Now, a healthy heart is a happy heart, and it starts with what you eat. So during the course of last year, we were making the most amazing recipes using various Jungle Oats products. But some of you might still be wondering why Jungle Oats is so good for you in the first place. So joining us in the kitchen this morning is Professor Pamela Naidu, and Professor is the CEO of the Heart and Stroke Foundation of South Africa. And she's here to spill the beans and tell us what health benefits are incorporated into Jungle Oats, and that will help you in your diet as well. So thank you very much once again for being here with us.
My pleasure.
So when we talk about heart health, this is a very hot topic and one of interest to a lot of South Africans because I think we're all trying to pursue a healthier lifestyle. But what are some of the statistics that we need to be aware of currently?
Right. So it's quite startling because around the world you've got about 17.7 million people who die before the age of 70 from heart disease. in South Africa, you've got 1 in 5 people, adults I'm talking about, who will die from the disease. So it's a pretty hectic, statistic that we're looking at. And heart disease sort of falls under non-communicable diseases. So it includes cancers and diabetes. And if you take that as a cluster, it's second to HIV, AIDS, maternal deaths, and injuries in the country. So it sits at about 48% of the burden of disease in the country. It's pretty
It's scary stuff.
Yeah,
it's
very
scary
scary.
stuff. But fortunately, there is something that we can do.
Sure.
And the Heart and Stroke Foundation recommends oats be incorporated into your diet in order to aid your heart health. Why is that?
Right, so maybe I should actually tell you at the outset, I'm not sure how many of your viewers are aware of the heart mark.
No,
So,
I'm not even aware of the heart mark.
okay, so we, as the Heart and Stroke Foundation, we have an endorsement program, and you'll find your certain products on your shelves in the supermarket would have the heart mark logo. And if it has the heart mark logo, it means that it meets all the criteria for a healthy food choice.
That logo with the heart and knife and fork next to it. Oh, that's the heart. It's called the heart mark. Because I've seen it before. I just didn't know it was called the heart mark. So when you say it meets the criteria, what does that mean?
So the criteria is as follows. Primarily, it will be good in fats. It will be low in sugar, low in salt, and of course all the other micronutrients. So it's quite complex. And it will also explain, it endorses the fact that if you have a particular portion, say like 100 grams of the jungle oats, it would be adequate for your daily consumption.
Yes, part of your RDA.
Yeah. So, yeah, the heart mark is actually what you should be looking out for.
Okay, so what is better for you at the end of the day? Is it cooked oats or raw oats? And why?
Well, I would say they're both equally good, except that to aid digestion, I would suggest that you perhaps soak it either in milk or water.
If you were going to have it raw?
If you were going to, just let it soak and soften. Then it's just easier on your system as well.
All right.
So, or you could put in some yogurt and fruit and So you don't have to cook it.
But there's nothing about the nutrients denaturing as a result of heat exposure if you are going to be cooking it. None of that happens.
No, I wouldn't say. I think it has equal benefit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's quickly, lastly, focus on the lifestyle habits that we need to adopt in order to aid heart health.
Right. So, look, I think that it's just don't get accustomed to having a sweet and a tongue and a salty tongue. So there's a couple of tips. Let me give you one classic example, and you can apply it in other areas of your life where nutrition is concerned. This year, the theme for salt reduction is 5 ways to 5 grams. Okay. So if you're having jungle oats, for example, don't have all. So you as an adult, you should be having not more than 5 grams per day of salt.
Okay.
So obviously that's over a course of the day. So when you're having your jungle oats, you've got to obviously then put a little...
Apportion your little bit of 5 grams, spread it out.
Yeah. And everything else in moderation, it's really quite old-fashioned. It's really everything in moderation. Decrease your sugar consumption, eat more fiber in your diet, so fruit and nuts and, there are many, even... it's not that I'm sort of judging people who eat meat, but you don't always need to have the heavy red meat or white meats for that matter to satisfy your protein portion of your diet. There are many, vegetarians who have adequate protein in their diet. So I think if you're really interested, you'll read around it and you can see how to, substitute the heavy foods for healthier options, and of course your exercise or physical activity and 0 tobacco smoking.
I feel like you were guilt-tripping me there over my love for chicken wings, but okay. Thank you very much, Professor. We really do appreciate it. And of course, heart disease and stroke are the second biggest killers in South Africa, as you heard earlier on statistically. But the good news is you are in control. Having a healthy heart is absolutely essential to a happy and healthy life. So you should try your best to always look after your own health and your families too. Incorporating jungle oats into your daily breakfast is definitely a step in the right direction.
South Africa's original oat champion now has a range of nutritious, delicious muesli. New Jungle Muesli, available in an exciting variety of flavors.
Speaking of exciting varieties of flavors, get ready to explore a bit of Greek cuisine on Afternoon Express today. Cook along with Chef Clem and his team this Tuesday as they prepare what looks like a truly delicious Greek moussaka. This classic hearty comfort food is served with a fresh traditional Greek salad made from only the best seasonal ingredients. Looks unreal, and you can cook along as well. We're going to take the quickest of breaks. When we return, more from our YouTube sensations. Louis and Raya, we'll see you in a sec.
It's my feel-good breakfast show. Hey, welcome back to Tuesday morning on your feel-good breakfast show. Thanks so much for choosing to start the day with us. We are in the privilege of hanging out with international superstars, travel vloggers, Louis and Raya. Now, we found out about their journeys and what they enjoy doing most, but also we're about to find out about what is at their heart, because Louis is the founder of Live the Journey. That's a management agency for travel and lifestyle influencers, and currently he's been working with some talent here in South Africa. He's brought some people over here to do some really, really cool stuff. We actually want to show you what he's been up to. Take a look at this. Cool.
We've just arrived at like a kindergarten, and we're meeting a bunch of kids, local kids. All right.
Hello. Molo.
Because once they are 5,
Oh man, beautiful smiles all around. You can just hear by the sound and the level of the noise that everyone was having a good time. And so that is what you guys are doing with Live the Adventure. Katlejo, that's what it's called, Live the Adventure. You're not just showing off the beautiful, fancy, glamorous parts of South Africa and Cape Town. You're also going into communities and doing some really great work. Tell me more about what you guys have been up to.
So, Live the Adventure was started just over a year ago. It kind of started off the back of the management team I had, kind of helping me with a lot of the back-end stuff that's involved in being a travel vlogger.
Yeah.
That's fun for Louis. And yeah, this is the first trip, the clip you just saw was the first trip that we had kind of officially hosting people. We flew different people from around the world. And yeah, we did do a whole variety of things, like a lot of sightseeing things. It would have been cool to do a bit more kind of cultural stuff and kind of social causes.
Yeah.
But we tried to squeeze
had 3 days.
Yeah, we
in
tried to
Cape
squeeze a
Town.
lot into Cape Town stuff. But yeah, the aim for us is for this trip was just to involve other big influencers, a lot of other travel Instagrammers and YouTubers, and yeah, I guess create a space where we could make incredible content, but also behind the scenes, just connect with one another and chat and kind of try and dream together about how can we do more in the world and change the world for the better.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about Chelsea, Sam, Aggie, Helen and Zach, some of the people you brought along with you, but if there are South African influencers out there and content creators that want to link up with you and share their ideas of how you can better put out the message, how do they do that? What do you want? What are you looking for?
So we've got a team based here. It's a small team at the moment, but we're looking to expand and get other people on board that we can, I guess some people we can represent exclusively with the management agency.
Yeah.
But for me also, it's just about kind of connecting with people as a collective and saying like, how can we collaborate, do projects together?
Yeah.
I would love to spend more time and get to know Cape Town on a deeper level.
Absolutely.
And doing that with other creators is amazing. So,
well, these guys will certainly be able to show you around. Let me invite the rest of the team here and just say thank you so much for joining us today. It's been amazing and your journeys inspire all of us, especially now that it's Travel Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah, completely, man. No, thank you so much for spending the amount of time that you have in Cape Town as well. That is so special. Really awesome.
Great to be here, isn't it?
Thank you, guys.
Follow them at Fun for Louis and yes, at Raya Was Here, because she was here as well. We'll see you again bright and early tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Have yourself a wonderful Tuesday, ladies.
Just take it all in. Breathe.
And
Breathe
also, guys, we're
take it all
checking in on the Cape Town Carnival tomorrow, and Manny Walters is also performing, and Peppa Pig is live in studio.
Oh, yeah.
Peppa
You're
Pig.
going to learn all about Peppa Pig, Daddy to be. We love you guys.
Thanks so much to Dewald Wasserfall as well. Cheers, guys.
Adios.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.